Josh Widdicombe podcast. XFM.
Welcome. It's Saturday morning. It's very exciting. I'm genuinely pleased to be here. I was quite tired last week, and it was fun last week. But this week, I've got up and I've thought, let's do this. Let's have this. Let's make jokes about Boys to Men and Suede doing crosswords. That's what I've been put on this earth to do. I've had quite a nice week. Did you enjoy the Oscars?
Didn't watch it.
Me neither. But it did actually. Because I'm yet to be nominated for an Oscar. Mm-hmm. I'm not a very. Are you an actor?
No. As
I can see, you can't hide your emotions. Your face tells, mate. Your face tells. I've never really been one for winning awards. As in, I haven't won many awards. Not as in, I've gone. I'm a bit better than this. That's what I say after nominations have come out, and I'm yet again not listed. I was kind of thinking the awards I've won in my life, and the first one, and maybe the last, was I won when I was at school. You know, at school they do like they give awards to people.
Kind of end of year stuff.
Well, just to kind of make you feel better as a human being.
Right.
So you'd get, most angry producer. And you go, oh yeah, well, I've deserved that. I've worked for that hard all year. They had to give out awards to all of our class, and I was about 14. So everyone was like, best rugby player, best at maths, all this kind of thing. And I won Good Egg Award. Which basically is going, you're a complete non-event. Not even best egg. I think best egg would have been fair enough, but just a good egg. As if there was better eggs. But I'm of a kind of... If it was the championship, I'd be in the playoffs. If it was the egg championship, I'd be a playoff egg. I want people to text in and make me feel better. I want basically this week's texter, as we call it in the trade. I want to talk about the most pointless award you or someone you know has won. So can you beat Good Egg? We as we always do. What do we do, Neil?
We twixt.
No, we do a league table.
Okay.
We've got such a telepathic understanding, haven't we?
I've been thrown off already.
Like Keegan and Toshak. That's not a topical reference. Text in 83936. That's 83936. So that Neil hears it. 83936. What is it, Neil?
6.
Yes. Maybe we should do that more. Text in on 83936. or tweet us at XFM.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Now, Neil, I've been very rude, as I am every week to you, and not asked you if you've won any awards. Well, if you haven't been listening, why? But if you haven't, we're talking about the most pointless awards you've ever won. Just basically the awards that are more of a kick in the teeth than a pat on the back. And that was more poetic than I thought it was going to be at the start of the sentence. Nice, wasn't it? Mm. Yeah. No, you're not as impressed as I was.
No, I'm thinking if we can put it into a quote for the show.
Always working. More of a kick in the teeth than a pat in the back. Josh Widdicombe on XFM. No, because I was reminiscing about winning the Good Egg Award when I was in my mid-teens and starved of social, social interaction more than anything. This is it for me, Neil. This has all been leading to this point.
Okay.
This is where I let it all out in a kind of falling down moment. Have you won any awards, Neil?
I was having a think. I did win one at primary school.
Well done.
I won.
On to the next song. No, what did you?
I won the courtesy cup.
The courtesy cup.
I was so polite.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds like in a few years when they're really struggling for sponsors for the Carling Cup. I preferred the Carling Cup when it was the Milk Cup in the 80s. Yeah, and you saw that did for milk. So I'm thinking Capital One are going to be on the up and up. What? So the courtesy cup. What? Explain what the courtesy cup involves.
They just awarded it.
Is it a knockout, or is there groups and then a knockout, or is it a league?
It was just a straight up winner.
Straight up winner.
Yeah, by vote.
By vote.
I don't know. I'm only kidding. Yeah. But what? It must have been a slight test as well, because when I went to collect the awards at the end of the ceremony, they didn't actually have a cup for me.
Oh.
So, but I was too polite to complain.
Too polite to complain. Of course you were. So what did they do? Well, go on and went, sorry, mate.
I can't remember now.
And then there was a puddle which you put your coat over for the teacher. So was it a surprise?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. But again,
But you turned up to the ceremony, so presumably you knew you were in with it.
it was during assembly.
Oh, it was during assembly?
Yeah.
It wasn't one of those ones where I'm only going to turn up to assembly if I know I've definitely won. Not that happens at award ceremonies. I'm not saying that's what people do at award ceremonies. So the Courtesy Cup, do you think that beats... there was another one I won, which was when we went on a school trip to York, because we didn't have as much money as some other schools. Went on a school trip to York, and we all once again won an award. The only awards I've won, I've noticed a pattern, is when everyone wins an award. So everyone won an award, once again, based on their personality. So, best walker of the city walls or historian of the week. I won a toasty of the week because I ate toast a lot.
That's really scraping the barrel.
It was a desperate moment. I'm not going to lie. I was eating upwards of 3 slices a day.
That's not a lot for a growing lad, though.
It's not. No, look at me now. I'm 5'6.5". Taller only than John Holmes. If you've got any awards, please text them in on 83936 or tweet us on XFM.
Josh Widdicombe podcast. XFM.
Good morning. It's flown by. I mean, I'm not saying that me and Neil are getting cocky, but I did just turn to him and go, "It's going well, isn't it?" After we'd done 2 links. So
the microphone broke in the first one.
The microphone broke in the first one. But, I like to see the positives, which is not something that all DJs can be said to do. We've had some texts in, or tweets. I don't know which. Doesn't really matter. Whatever your mode of communication, I will listen. That should be the slogan of the show. Josh Widdicombe, whatever your mode of communication, I'm up for it. We've had some about most pointless awards. We've got our league table ready, have we, Neil?
Yes,
Do you want to run us through it? Basically, we're talking about the worst award you have ever won.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had a text in from Meryl Streep. No, what's the league table, Neil?
We're looking. You're in third with your Good Egg Award.
Yeah, Good Egg.
I'm in second with my Courtesy Cup.
With your Courtesy Cup.
And then you're on top with your Toasty Award.
A couple of things before. Firstly, obviously, we haven't received. We're yet to cover the texts and tweets. It's not just that we're just talking to each other. We have got some. That'd be the saddest radio show when it gets to the end. I go, "Can you run me through the league table, Neil?" And there's 30, all of them us. Secondly, there is an irony I've realised to the fact if you win this, it's the most pointless award of all. Let's see if any of these people can beat us. Tom, presumably the Tom. He doesn't need any more detail. He won at school. The Only West Ham Fan Award. I don't know. I mean, obviously there was very few nominations as well, presumably, for that. I'd like to know where Tom went to school. Because presumably, like, the only Man United fan was a lot more. I went to school in Devon. Everyone supported Man U. But
standard.
It still annoys me. My favourite. Well, you can judge that because you're always in charge of the league table, Neil.
Okay.
We've discussed this. That's part of your producing role. It's in your contract. Kevin Tooting said, "I won an award from my local barber." Stop there, Kev, for a start. I don't know when that's presented. But also, I don't even know where to get into it. But Kev's obviously had quite a tough upbringing. I won an award from my local barber for most pleasant hair to cut. I mean, we could have had a guess at that. If there's anyone who's qualified to give out that award, what would you give as the prize for that, Neil? Probably your sweepings up in a bag. Enjoy it.
Hair.
Take it home. Have a cut yourself. The prize was 2 free haircuts and a chicken dinner from the takeaway next door. Okay. Kev has added there was no formal ceremony. I mean, that's just. I often say this is exactly the kind of thing we're looking for. Kevin Tooting has knocked it out of the park. There's so many things I want to say, but I don't feel any of them are comparable to what Kev can say himself. I'm what indeed just thinking about Kev and the silence as we think. Let's have a second just think about Kev. Let's not. That's dead air. That's a crime on radio. We know that.
Let's try it.
Kev, everyone. There we go. So if you think you can beat Kev, good luck. If you think you can beat Kev, text in 83936 or tweet at XFM.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
I have a confession, Neil. I am so well. Will you explain what happened, Neil?
Well, normally from week one at this part of the show, we do good song, bad film.
We won't be doing it this week. We won't be doing this week. Not because I haven't got one. I have got one. It's great, but we haven't got time because we had to play Blink 182 because I went to the toilet and it was further away than I'd anticipated. So Neil had to play another song. The reason it was further away is there is a toilet just outside our studio, but I prefer the one further away because it has classic FM piped into it. I find it a more relaxing experience. So it's like, I'll treat myself. I'll urinate. That's a phrase that we can use. That's fine, isn't it?
You've treated yourself, but you've cheated the listener.
I've cheated the listener. But what I can tell you is that I'm slightly higher brow since listening to last week I went in, they were playing the theme to Jonathan Creek. I felt like Beethoven. So more good song, bad film next week. I do apologise, listeners. I genuinely. But if anything, I actually prefer this anecdote to the good song, bad film we had lined up for you. If you've got any more bad awards coming in, but to be honest, I'm going to trail one because it's the best text we've had. TJ Palmer has knocked it out of the park, so you can listen to that in the next hour.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Today we are texting and tweeting about the worst awards that you've ever won, the most humiliating award you've ever been bestowed. And how's our league table looking, Neil?
It's good. Do you want me to run down?
No. I just want to know how it's looking. Oh yeah, well, give me a swift countdown.
Barber Story number 1.
Barber Story. So what was that? Oh, the man who won best hair.
Yeah.
Finest hair to cut. No.
Most pleasant hair to cut.
Most pleasant hair to cut.
Only
for which he received 2 free haircuts and a chicken dinner
from a takeaway.
From a takeaway.
The only West Ham fan in school at number 2.
The only West Ham. Oh, yeah, let's not go any lower because we get the view. Well, what we've discovered again is what we always discover now. If we want texts and tweets, do a text in which your listeners are losers, and we will get a lot. But we got. This is probably the most subscribed one we've got, isn't it, so far?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's quite sad.
I'm not sure we should congratulate ourselves on that. Let's leave this for in the office.
I think we should congratulate ourselves next week when the text in is how many people have you slept with, and we get loads because we're all cool dudes. That's how it'll work. Ben has texted in with the answer 7 people. Ben has texted in with I won an award for making a Christmas cracker out of tracing paper and shiny bits of paper. It doesn't specify what the award was called because that's quite a kind of cumbersome name for the award. The award for making a Christmas cracker out of tracing paper and shiny bits of paper, sponsored by Acaster. My prize, I'm presuming this was at school. It doesn't work at HMV. My prize was a Houses of Parliament folder pen and, best of all, parliamentary chocolate. I didn't know that was a thing. No.
No, me neither.
Do you think it's themed? Each chocolate's got a different picture of the cabinet on. Presumably it was a while ago. It's John Major's cabinet. I was just tucking into normal Lamont. Which is almost the kind of thing that Julian Clary's career was ended by. The tweet that probably the best tweet we've ever received. I'm going to say that now. If this doesn't top your league table, I mean, you're your own man, Neil. You can put it in your league table where you want. TJ Palmer, she has tweeted in, I once won an award for best drawing of the Egyptian afterlife. Oh my word! I need more details of that because I don't know how many people were competing in this. What was it? A good draw? What did she draw? What? How did she? We want more. Mm-hmm. We want more details because I didn't even know that was a competition. If I had, I might have entered.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
We have a development, Neil.
Really?
Yeah, TJ Palmer Who? Where does she stand in the league table currently?
She's top.
She's top. So this can only damage her chances of Champions League football. She won an award when she was a child for best drawing of the Egyptian afterlife, and so I wanted more details. T-Jow didn't bloody have a problem with that. Here it is. Here it comes. T-Jow Palmer at Volume of Verse. That's her Twitter handle. Follow. I might follow if everything's as good as that one tweet we received. Oh, it's not. These are disappointing. No, it is good. It was a class competition. Presumably school class, not just... She's not using it as a term, it was a really good competition. It was a class competition, and we had to draw the weighing of the feather versus soul. Presumably the soul of the human, not the music. She didn't have on one side of the scales, she had a feather, on the other she had PM Dawn. There's a reference I didn't think I had up my sleeve. If she did have PM Dawn, she should definitely have won. I don't know if there is an afterlife. If there is, I hope PM Dawn is there. She won a novelisation of Aladdin. That was very good.
Good prize.
Yeah. She's added, I also may have traced my drawing out of an encyclopedia. Sorry. I was thinking, the reason I said encyclopedia is I was thinking that that's the other way people used to cheat when I was at school, was they used to print off Encarta as their research, which was what I did and got caught out. She's added, sorry, Mrs. Stevens. Which sounds like a kind of children's TV show. But thank you, TJ. More texts in about that or about PM Dawn's career. I can't remember his song. 83936 or tweet us at XFM.
Set adrift on Memory Bliss.
That's not what we're playing now.
Oh.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Saturday morning with Josh Widdicombe. Hello. And now we come to that time again where we get in touch with what I've now described. Actually, I think it was your phrase, Neil. A news hound. So welcome, Joe Lycett. Hello.
Good morning, Josh. Good morning, listeners.
That is the sound of a news hound.
That's the sound of a news hound.
If this went well and you got snapped up by a news night, I wouldn't
Definitely
resent
open with that. Yeah.
Would you make the
I think
move?
they'd love that. Oh, no, I wouldn't make the move. I wouldn't let you down like that.
Ah, you're a gentleman, Joe.
Invaluable to your show.
You are invaluable to my show. We're all fully aware of that. So this week, Joe, I've decided I'm going to set you the task of researching these news stories every week, so that both of us can learn about it. You sound mortified at that prospect.
Well, it's a lot of work, Josh. I've had to do a lot of travelling, particularly this week. There's been a lot involved.
Because this week it's the Italian elections.
It is, absolutely. So, went to Italy.
Know. What do I need to know?
Well, I went to Italy and I went to an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
And
what was it,
I was in
Strada?
there. No. It was like just a local one, like run by a local man. I think his name was Paolo. Let's call him Paolo. And there was a lovely lasagna on the menu. And
Right.
there was, a lovely pizza.
Is this definitely true?
No, I'm making it up. It's an allegory. Just go with it.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lovely lasagna, lovely pizza on the menu.
Yep.
And the waiter was saying, well, the pizza's delicious, very good, loads of lovely toppings. But the lasagna is also excellent.
Yeah.
There's lots of really lovely, delicious things on the lasagna as well. Just a really well-made lasagna.
He's a good waiter.
And
good waiter.
they really sold it to me, and I couldn't decide what I wanted. I didn't know whether I wanted the lasagna or the pizza.
Yeah.
And I spent so long deciding that in the end I just didn't have anything, and I went hungry. And that, Josh, is a metaphor for the Italian elections. Do you get it?
My eyes have opened.
Your eyes have opened. So basically what happened is they'd had an election and they couldn't decide who's won. So they
So what are you going to do?
If you go on the Wikipedia page for Italian elections, which I just did, it says new president TBC, to be confirmed, because we haven't decided yet.
TBC. Well, that's very exciting. So who are you backing?
Isn't it? I'm backing a guy called Beppe. There's a guy called Beppe who's one of the guys, and he used to be a comedian, so that sort of taps into me, because, you know, that makes me think, oh, maybe I could be president someday, or prime minister, whatever it is we have here.
What would be your first policy?
My first policy would be to make me Pope. That would be the first one.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what my policies
That's
would be.
the thing about power. The more you get, the more it corrupts you and makes you hungry for more.
I'd say, you know what I'd do? I'd go into Houses of Parliament and say, the only cuts I'm going to make are into this giant cake, everyone, and then give everyone some cake, like that.
Oh, that's good policy, actually. Good policy. You should let know. So if you were to sum up the Italian elections, Joe, in one sentence, what have we learnt this week?
We have learnt this week that Italian people are indecisive, and as a result, they will all starve.
Thank you very much, Joe. I will see you next week.
See you next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
We are joined for the final hour on Josh Widdicombe Show by friend of the show, James Acaster.
Friend of the nation.
Friend of the nation. Don't push it, mate. We're going to now expose how the work of a comedian's done, because you've got a story about your gig last night that you wanted to tell me.
I was going to tell you, and then as with anything on a Saturday now, you go tell me on the air. I'm not allowed to speak to you off mic.
It's going to be very awkward when you have to come out to me.
Yeah. When and not if, Josh. Well, last night I had a gig in Aylesbury. If there's anyone listening who was at that Aylesbury gig, I hope you were. It was it depends which half of the audience they were in. Half of them seemed to like me. The other half, livid. really angry at the kind of comedy I was trying to do last night. And I'll say trying, I was really working hard.
Yeah.
But the thing that made the gig unusual was that my granddad lives around the corner from Aylesbury.
Yeah, of course he does.
In his mid-80s, with a walking stick. I can't really hear very well.
Yeah.
Got him on the front row because he can't.
You got him on the. Oh, you pulled some strings.
Yeah. Pulled some. You know, I know some people. I said, Grandad, I will get you on the front, and you will hear every word. He didn't hear anything. He wasn't aware that I was doing as badly as I was. But at the end of the gig,
Small mercies.
At the end of the gig, obviously, I was like, right, you know, thank you very much. Everyone claps, which is polite of him. And as I was leaving, he went to, my granddad goes to shake my hand while I'm still on stage. And so I shook his hand, but then he just grabs it really tightly, pulls me in to whisper in my ear. So this isn't a handshake, it's him wanting a word with me.
Right.
And he's saying in my ear, you're going to come back and find me, right? In the interval, come back and collect me from there. But at the minute, I'm still on stage. And everyone just, all they can see is that...
It's very rare that happens to Bono.
Yeah, his granddad starts... Also, they don't know he's my granddad. So
obviously.
As far as the audience are concerned, old man has just grabbed me and is starting to give me advice.
Can they... Tell you where you went wrong, mate.
Yeah, that was awful. But then, obviously, I then had to go and get him in the interval.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and...
Could they hear him say, are you going to come and get me?
No. So they just knew that he was...
Because if they'd heard that, it would have sounded like he was a really big fan.
Yeah. That's his target audience. No wonder no one else liked it. But I went back, and obviously, if I've normally had a gig that's a bit iffy, I'd leave pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But as it is, my granddad has a walking stick now. He walks very slowly, so I had to leave the gig at a snail's pace, walking sauntering through the audience, really slow, ambling through them, while they all looked at me. And then, obviously, you saw on their faces, they're going, "Oh no, he's not only did he have that gig, he's got his granddad with him." And it was awful. And but just when we're right in the thick of it, right in the crowd, he did the worst fart I think I've ever heard or experienced in my life.
I'm not normally up for farting humour, but that is exactly
it was like he'd done it on my behalf just to get him back.
And he was the only one that couldn't hear it.
Yeah, he was there looking at me going, silent but deadly. No, it wasn't.
Well, James, thank you. You've made me feel better about myself, if anything.
Oh, good.
I hope your granddad might be listening. He doesn't know.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM podcast.
This is Josh Widdicombe, still joined by James Acaster. Hello.
Hello, Josh.
And today we're talking about the most pointless awards you won as a child. Presumably you've won presumably you cleaned up.
Well, I didn't really ever win any awards. I only got the same ones as everyone else. I got my cycling proficiency, along with everyone else. And I remember when they were handing out the certificates, I was the only one who got the certificate with a bit of a side note.
With a caveat.
Yeah, everyone else was like, well done, and then me in front of everyone was, James, still a bit wobbly. So I was
on the bike, presumably.
on the bike. Yeah, I didn't walk up to get my certificate and fall over. There he goes again.
Do you cycle now? You do, don't you?
Occasionally, I'm not very. I mean,
You got
basically,
into it,
I get flat tyres so quickly, and then I just throw a massive salt.
That'll be because you're constantly wobbling left and right.
Yeah, I got a flat tyre on the way back home. First night I moved to my new house, on the way home, was got a massive flat tyre, and then the bus driver, who was behind me, stopped the bus and convinced me to get on the bus for free. But I had a fold-up bike, and I had to fold it up before getting on the bus. And because I was in such a tiz, I started to just like mess up the folding, and everyone on the bus was looking at me, like getting so angry because it wasn't a designated stop or anything, and I was there just messing up the folding of the bike.
What kind of bus driver does that?
He was a really nice bus driver, but even he was looking at me like, actually, I've been too nice to this guy. This is not on.
Well, you know, it's good that your cycling proficiency has paid off. You've got some tweets in about this, have you?
The most the worst awards. Anna Gray has tweeted in saying, I once won an award for most interesting instrument (brackets double bass), which I don't know what. I mean, really, I don't know how
It's not particularly interesting.
interesting that is. But what's good is that she shared the award with a boy who played the Indian drums, which we've discussed, and I'm pretty sure that is not what they're called.
No, that's not a thing.
That's not an instrument.
You know what it's called, don't you, Neil?
I think it's called a tabla, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tabla drums.
I'd say that he should have won.
Yeah. His was
double
so
bass.
interesting. Obviously not so interesting that they would ask him what they were called. Just Indian drums, mate. Nice.
The only way the double bass is interesting is presumably she's a child. So, that is going to dwarf her.
Yeah, she's like standing on the side like Bill Haley. But
any others?
There's quite a few. Oh, there's one up here. I say up here. I'm scrolling up Twitter.
For readers,
I've not got them on shelves.
Yeah,
we're not in a massive warehouse.
Warehouse of anecdotes.
Yeah. Jess says, I once won an award for the girl who knows all the lyrics to all songs. That may sound cool, but it was stuff like ABBA, is what she says. But then if it's all
That's
songs...
the sequel to The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, isn't it?
Yeah, the girl who knows all the lyrics to all songs. Mainly set in a karaoke bar, that film.
Try this one for size. It's common people.
Doing it all blindfolded, doesn't need the screen. Whoa, give that girl an award.
So
She is off key for every single song. Her singing is atrocious, but she knows the words.
So she said mainly ABBA. So that's not all the songs.
No, I mean really, it's like she started learning all the songs by artist alphabetically, and
The other band that she can nail is the pop punk band A.
yeah, she started halfway through AC/DC, and then she had to quit.
If wouldn't it be great if we played some A now?
It would be good because it was relevant.
Yeah, this is the Arctic Monkeys.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
We are joined by James Acaster, as per bloody usual. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you, Josh.
So each week you give us a scrape that you've got into, because your life is a running 70s sitcom.
Yeah.
You know, we're missing Richard Bryars, but there's a new kid in town. So what was your scrape?
I got trapped in my bedroom and had to call the fire brigade. Yeah, ridiculous. But I share.
Call 999.
Yeah, I had to properly. I share a flat with my girlfriend. It's a very small flat, and the bedroom has a sliding glass door, like a massive sliding glass door.
Yeah.
And she got up in the night and
Sexy.
forgot. Yeah, well there you go. She wakes up in the night sometimes, and she had to open the door, and in her tiredness forgot that it was sliding and thought it was just a pull door. So she pulled it towards her, and then it just basically came off of its dollies and jammed between the ceiling and the floor.
Yeah.
And it's like all made of glass. So
It didn't smash.
No, but it was just jammed there.
Yeah.
I went to try and move it, but every time I tried to move it, it made this massive creaking sound, like it was gonna break. I was like, I can't handle this.
Have you got a window in your bedroom?
Now, we've got a window, but we're 3 floors up. There's no way I'm getting out of there. We didn't have our keys in the room with us. We had them in the living room and we couldn't get to them.
Yeah.
And after a while, I was just like, I think we're going to have to phone the fire brigade.
What time of night was it?
This was about 2 a.m.
Couldn't you sleep on it?
No, she really needed a wee. she got up to go to the toilet, and you know, I don't think I could get to sleep now, and I was trapped in the room.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, but like they turned up, and like, they were very nice. But our room is like a shoebox, so 2 firemen climbed through the window. Came into our bedroom, instantly said what everyone says, which is, "Oh, this flat's a bit small. Like, I didn't call you here, for this kind of opinion."
We didn't call Kirsty and Phil.
Yeah, and then they put all their protective like gear on, the visors and everything.
Yeah,
and like shook the door free, didn't break. They
Where
got
were
it
you,
out.
cowering in the corner?
Yeah, for me, the most embarrassing
You
thing
didn't go
was,
down the ladder.
No, we didn't go down the ladder, but when they arrived, they shouting up from the bottom, and Louise was leaning out the window talking to them. And then they went...
What was she saying?
She was telling them what had happened.
Oh,
and they
right.
said, "Are you on your own?" And she went, "No, my boyfriend's here." And then I kind of
And they said,
sheepishly...
"Is that James
appeared.
Acaster?" 'Cause
Yeah.
that's the kind of scrape he'd get.
They said, "Hello, James, 10th time this week." But the main thing that ticked me off was that after they had moved the door, one of them... Not only did they said the flat was small, but the other thing that everyone says, he went, "Oh, it's boiling in this flat." I was like, "Mate, most of the buildings you go to are on fire. Like, keep those opinions to yourself. It's not as hot as probably the last place you were called out to."
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Still joined by James Acaster, who got stuck in his bedroom and had to be rescued by the fire brigade.
Guilty?
I don't want to trump your scrape, which is not a phrase I ever thought I'd say. But I last year got stuck in the shower of a Mint hotel. Mint being the type of hotel.
Yeah, no,
I'm not describing.
It's not the kind of lingo I'm used to hear you using.
As hotel, Mint, yeah. The showers. I got stuck, so I was in the shower, and I don't know. I shower naked, so
Yeah.
Do you?
No one does, Josh. You're the only one. I don't know if you're aware of this, but everyone else has
You wear a bathing suit.
a shred of respect.
You
And,
wear one of those Victorian bathing suits.
Yep, and a bobble hat.
Fair enough. You know, it takes all sorts. But I'm a bit more free and European.
Yeah.
In my shower. So I was in the shower. It had a sliding glass door like yours. It wasn't a slider. It was a pull door. A door. That's
Probably
what
the
it's
same size as my bedroom, though.
Yeah.
If you ask those firemen.
And I'd put the so I get annoyed with when I was trying to do some work, so I get annoyed when they come to your hotel room, so I had the do not disturb, so no one was gonna ever...
Were you doing work in the shower?
No, but generally.
But you set your office up.
Yeah, I had one of those. I had a marker pen that was water resistant, so
Yeah.
I was doing some maths on the wall like Good Will Hunting.
You could have been writing notes in the steam on the condensation with your finger.
Anyway, cut to the chase, the door jammed.
Yeah.
And I was locked in the shower, not in the bathroom, in the shower cubicle, for a good 15 minutes. And it was genuinely the most scared I've ever been, because I was doing a weekend in Leeds, and this was Saturday morning, so I didn't need to check out till midday Sunday, so they wouldn't. And it was a glass door, so I thought, do you know the problem with this anecdote, James, is that it resolves with, and then the door worked again. But for those 15 minutes,
if that was me, the fire
What would you have
brigade
done?
would have been called in no time.
Well, I didn't have my phone. I don't take my phone into the shower. You keep it under your bobble hat.
Oh yeah, I've got it in my bum bag. So I would have just got the mobile phone out of there, phone him up. James, yep, stuck in the shower again. Don't worry, I'm fully clothed, you won't see anything.
That is why you shower clothed.
Yeah,
It's the
exactly.
amount of times you have to be retrieved by strangers.
Yeah, exactly.
We're learning a lot about you this morning, James.
Josh Widdicombe, podcast, XFM.
We've come to the end, James.
The end.
As Jim Morrison once
I mean,
sang.
we're saying it's the end, but after the stories we've had, I'm worried we're not going to be able to get out the studio. Door will be jammed.
Jammed in. Now, James, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, there are bonuses to coming on. Obviously, you get to spend time with me.
Yeah.
But also you can plug things. Shall I start with my plugs, or do you want to go first?
Well, I haven't really got many.
You go first.
I mean, really, I'm just doing a bunch of normal gigs every night of the week this week.
Okay.
And, that's. I mean, so if
Plug your Twitter.
at James Acaster.
At James Acaster.
Yeah.
Follow him on Twitter.
Oh, loads of fun on Twitter.
Yeah. What was
I'm
your
not-
last? What was
I'm
your
not
last
really.
tweet?
Does anyone
Just
know the
that.
number
How
for
do
the
you-
fire brigade?
998. I am on Twitter at Josh Widdicombe. I'm going to do some plugging of myself now because you're not going to plug yourself. Is that okay?
Oh yeah, plug away.
Oh no, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to, and this has to stay in the podcast, Neil. I'd like to congratulate Verity, my friend Verity, who has just given birth to a boy called Arthur. She named him Arthur.
He wasn't already.
No. Oh, it's an Arthur. I was almost called Arthur as well, but congratulations, Verity. She's genuinely the most pregnant woman I've ever seen. When she was massive from about a month in.
Yeah.
So, and then he was 2 weeks late. Unbelievable.
What? Classic Arthur.
Classic Arthur. So that's my plug.
Is that a plug? A woman was pregnant. No, she's giving
Arthur
birth.
Overs Morell. Hear that name.
What's his?
It's going to be massive.
What's his Twitter?
At Arthur Overs Morell.
At
48.
At Brilliant Baby.
At Brilliant Baby. Next week, set up Arthur's Twitter. But thank you, Verity. Thank you for that plug. I mean, I do mean this, but now it sounds like I'm actually having a go. But no, genuinely, I'm genuinely pleased for her.
You're very happy that.
Very happy, yeah.
She had a baby. Yes.
I should stop talking about it.
Well,
Or maybe we shouldn't keep this in the podcast after all.
this has been my favourite thing for a long time. Seeing you somehow managed to dig a hole by being nice and sincere. You're not even saying anything wrong.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast. XFM.